Oh my goodness, we love Jenna from Great Expectations. Hey guys, today we're welcoming someone who doesn't just serve our community, he shows up for it. Sheriff Rob Hardwick leads with accountability, compassion, and a deep belief that public safety works best when people feel seen, supported, and protected. I am so honored, and you guys know this, I'm so honored to have my buddy, Sheriff Rob Hardwick, to the show. Welcome to Sunny TV.
Yes, you're too kind, and so good to be on your show. Excited for you.
Yes.
And, you know, Kendall and I just elated what's going on with you and what you guys are doing.
Thank
so
you.
Excited to be here this morning.
The best was when he walked in. David and I both said, "Good morning."
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure if you guys were live. I was like, "Am I quiet or what are we doing here?"
And he
Okay,
said
be
that
quiet.
was the best welcome ever.
I know.
Yes,
So good.
it is.
So talk a little bit about how you got into law enforcement and what inspired, did you have a dream to be sheriff one day?
No, I'm not that kid. And matter of fact, I was trying to figure out life when I was a young boy. You know, my mom and dad went through a divorce, and of course, I was in a Catholic school here in St. Johns County, and just trying to figure it out. And honestly, I needed that structure in my life. And most people don't know this, but I got in trouble, of course, well, more than once, but I actually got caught in trouble. But at 18 years old, I was arrested for possession of alcohol by a minor and possession of clove cigarettes. Remember the old clove
Oh
cigarettes?
my gosh.
Oh, yes. By the St. Augustine Beach Police Department.
Oh, okay.
yes,
Was
yes,
it Travis?
Okay.
Full circle, right? Full circle.
Who arrested you? We
Full
can
worker.
get yeah, we'll get
I
it.
don't want to say Officer Russo's name, but he no longer works there. But anyways, one of those things in life, like I got to figure it out, and I got to get out of here, and I had to get direction. And if I were to name off a bunch of names of people that I was hanging with, all great people, but most of them ended up in prison, just to be honest with you.
Oh,
so
no.
Again, just had to make some good decisions in life, and that was honestly where kind of God stepped in and said, okay, you want to go ahead and test me, this is where it's going to be. And because of that, of course, the judge did not throw it out. Judge Watson did not. I was sentenced to basically some community control, some fines and stuff like that. My dad did not come and get me. I had to do it on my own, but I was 18. I mean, I'm an adult. I made a stupid mistake, made an adult mistake. And
You gotta learn, yeah.
You got to learn. So the judge made a heck of a deal with me because at the time I was in the Florida National Guard, and he said, "You join the active duty military and get out of town, and I won't see you again," type of thing. And that's the best thing that happened to me. I packed up and literally signed a contract, and I moved out of here and went and served the military in the United States Army at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So when I came home, I just, of course, my beautiful wife, Kendall, and I, we had seen each other, through sophomore year of high school, and we just kept connecting and then doing our thing and connecting back again. And then after my Gulf War tour with 82nd Airborne Division, I came home, and we had reconnected via, back then the snail mail, basically writing letters, 15-day turnaround. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then I would call her whenever we had a phone tree out there somewhere in the desert. I would call her, and came back home, and we had our first baby boy, Cole, at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Oh, amazing.
And then of course, we got married. We've been married 34 years. But that's where I really knew that structure, because they tell you what to wear, what time, what you're going to eat. It's simple in life. And I felt like that's what made me a better person. So again, that kind of set the tone of what I wanted to do. And this is, again, very paramilitary, law enforcement. My uncle was a state trooper in Maine, so I had seen the uniform. My surviving oldest brother was serving in the Coast Guard. So I had seen that uniform. I'm like, okay, this is where I think I can be in life and be able to be productive and give back. And that's exactly what happened. So long story short, I came home after my tour in Fort Bragg, North Carolina with 18th Airborne Corps. And Kendall and I came home with our first son and got a job with the prison system. And that's the only one that would really take me, because I mean, I didn't have a lot of experience, infantry soldier, communications soldier, paratrooper, not a lot of jobs in
paratrooper.
A lot of
that
jobs in
is cool.
society that check those boxes, though.
Right.
Like bungee jumper, or like flying out of
On
an airplane.
steroids.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah,
on steroids.
paratroopers are no joke, man.
So came home and got a job with the prison system. Hated it. I worked at Tomoka Correctional Institution, and I think this is what we can talk about also too, is what actually. What in your mind actually said we're going to do something different than what's currently in society with prison systems? Well, I watched the prison system, and I was a kid. I was a paratrooper. I was full of life, and drinking a lot, because that was our lifestyle. Not Kendall and I, but the military lifestyle back then.
Oh, not Kendall. She's a saint.
She keeps you
Love
good.
that lady.
That girl, I don't know.
She is the perfect panda.
I ask her to this day, 34 years later, Mary's like, okay, why me? She's
Yeah.
like, why do you ask? I'm like, I physically asked her this morning. I was like, what's up with
She
me?
had to keep you in line.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, she's the one.
And you give her life, which is great.
Yes, it's a bigger picture, as you know, Davey. You know us very well, and it's a special relationship that we have. And you got to be special married to this, because I've always given my life to work, and work has always been my priority to this day. And she's been that woman that stood by me through a lot of dark times in our life, when I've been in the valleys of the world and the peaks of the earth too as well. But anyway, so kind of came out home and it had that uniform, wearing it again to prison. I hated it there. Ended up getting a job with Flagler County Sheriff's Office in Corrections.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, and then eventually came home here. Kendall's brother worked at St. John's County Sheriff's Office, so I couldn't work there. It depended on what the flavor of the day was over there. Nepotism today, tomorrow the good old boy
Correct.
system.
Yeah.
Nepotism,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. But best thing that happened was they didn't hire me, so I went to St. Augustine City. Just a phenomenal career there, under Bill Robinson was our chief, and then David Shore. And I just had some great opportunities and just figured that's where my calling in life was. So I stayed in the military on the reserve side or the National Guard side after my active duty tour and finished out with 25 years of service, and I'm on 31 years in law enforcement today. So just
Wow.
blessed.
When listening to that story, I mean, you lead with an empathetic heart, which is amazing because it's like when you get incarcerated, I see a lot of positivity that happens for people when they get out, too. You're not just like, you just throw them on the street. I really love to get into the conversation of this re-entry program that
Yeah.
you've spearheaded.
First of all, it's a bigger picture than, why I sit here today and why we do the things we do. I was that young, ignorant cop that wore this badge and wore that gun for the city of St. Augustine back in the 90s when we were fighting this war on drugs, for God's sakes. And what does that mean? I don't know. But
The DARE program.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know
I
what
missed the DARE program.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Okay, good.
Because
Okay.
we're going to do something different in that. We got to go back now and attack that younger age. And it's
Yeah.
perfect timing, by the way, because they're weak. And I'd say that.
I completely
Agree.
agree
You
with you.
understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So, with this being said, I mean, everybody went to jail. It was like, what do we do? I didn't know back then what I know now, but we were so ignorant, everybody went to jail, whether you had a mental health issue, whether you had a substance abuse issue, or whether you had this little tiny thing called a crack cocaine piece of rock, little tiny thing, and you
Yeah.
got a felony the rest of your life. And I told myself, and I never thought I would be anywhere, just a young, dedicated police officer that loved the mission and was never disrespectful to people, never used excessive force. I always did the right thing all the time when no one's looking. I believe so. Anyways, fast forward, and I said, if I ever get somewhere in life, I'm going to make that change. And here I am today on my 6 years as your sheriff, and we came in here, and you find the right people. You mentioned people like Michael Clark and William Jones, but I came in here, and they had a reentry program going. Check in the box, right? Okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then I physically told my staff, I said, we're going to do something that no one is doing in this country. What does that mean, Sheriff? I don't know. It comes to me here. I can't write it down. I don't read books. You will see it when it happens. Well, the first thing was we had to invest in that jail. It smelled, it was dirty, and it was loud, and there was a lot of internal affairs complaints in there. You walk in my jail today, and I'm going to challenge you. Please come for a walk with me. It smells clean. It's quiet as a mouse. And I have retention. I have recruitment. And then the biggest thing is this. We have a very robust reentry, pre-entry,
Yes.
outreach, substance abuse, mental health, VA court. And I talked at a human trafficking seminar last night up at the Link in Nocatee.
Oh, yeah,
Late
yeah.
last night with Ragu. He's the owner there. And I mentioned the same thing I mentioned to you now. When you give somebody direction like Sergeant Michael Clark, who just has the rank of sergeant and doesn't have all these stars on him, and you give him direction, you give him the personnel, and you say, go forward, and this is what we're going to do, and he gets it.
Yeah.
Fast forward now to 6 years as your sheriff. The other day, 2 years ago, I walked down St. George Street. I came out of the Cathedral Basilica with my beautiful wife, and we're holding the hands. We walked down St. George Street after 7 o'clock Mass. I'm like, it's littered with homeless people,
Yeah.
dirt and trash everywhere, homeless people, drug use, sex abuse and use. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So we started this outreach program. Sergeant Brittany Garman with the city, phenomenal.
Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Rock star.
I love her.
Her and Sergeant Michael Clark, teamed up together. We got with Karen Zander and Len Weeks. They opened a not-for-profit with the St. Augustine Business Coalition, start putting money in there because it's affecting their businesses.
True.
Next thing you know, 2 years, almost to this month, our team has relocated, reunified 520 homeless people in 2 years, 24 months.
Absolutely.
But this is what we're not doing. I always laugh and go, this isn't the DeSantis plane to Martha's Vineyard. No. We find out, how did you end up here? Most people end
Right.
up here with hard times in their life. We've been there. If you haven't been there, you haven't lived life. I have.
Yeah.
So I simply say that you've all been in that trough of life and no one helped you get out. So anyway, we help you get back to where you came from. Out of 500 plus people that have been reunified in our homeless outreach program, we think 6 to 10 have returned in 2 years.
Yeah.
The rest are back on their feet. They send us text messages. They send us letters of thank you. They're on their medication for mental health. They're
Yep.
off their substance use and abuse. They're with a family or loved ones that protect them. We have found homes for people as far away as Canada, Mexico,
Awesome.
California, Alaska, 500 people. So we're doing great things, Davey,
Yeah.
and we're always, we're on another mission last week, because the sheriff drives through town. I'm Davey, I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
And I try to be, present as much as I can. But I'm driving down right in front of the library, right here on Ponce. There's a homeless camp right there with blue tarps. How do you miss it? I reached out to Sergeant Michael Clark. He took his whole team there. He brings resources. I don't know. I feel like we're in a better place than where we're at now. And the big thing is managing inmate population in our jail. We can hold 700 plus on a rainy day. I don't ever want to be there. But as a young police officer, ignorant police officer back in the 90s, we were in the 600s. We were at 394 this morning.
Get out. That's
And
amazing.
I think we're very professionally aggressive. We don't
Absolutely.
tolerate garbage in St. Johns County as
No.
far as crime goes.
Best pit maneuver in the country,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
ask me. Honey,
Tell
that's
the truth.
amazing. Woo!
I know.
I know. I had to laugh. There's so much that.
I want to do a pit maneuver every day.
I'm telling. Anytime you want to come for a ride
Can I
along,
do it?
Anytime
Literally,
you want to
you
come.
have my permission to have her wear a
Come
helmet.
on, guys, you heard it here. Pit maneuver right along. So
the chances of it not happening on my shift, our patrol deputy sheriffs are very slim to none. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
tolerate that garbage in St.
Yeah.
Johns
No.
County. Yeah.
Well,
Well-
we just had
Yeah.
Joey Romer on a couple of weeks
Oh my
ago.
God.
My God, think about a
Amazing.
magnet.
I
My
mean,
God.
he's amazing.
That
He
guy.
is. We've known each other since I was a young boy,
my
man. The
God.
guy's
I
got a
love
gift
that
from
dude.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked for Epic. I was a community outreach coordinator. I did a couple events and stuff, but I got to go with one of our teams that works with your reentry program.
Oh, cool.
I got to go to a resource fair in the reentry side of the
Inside.
jail.
Yeah.
And I got to work with Officer Milton, and I think the other guy's name was Officer Clark.
Yep, Mike
I
Clark.
want to
Mike
say.
Clark,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, I was kind of nervous because the closest I've been to jail is the parking lot. Like I've never,
That's
shocker.
And as much as she pops her mouth
Shocker,
off,
right?
you'd be shocked. Yes.
So I'm like with Brittany Cassis and Sarah Tomlinson and Rebecca, and I'm standing there and I'm like, guys, what? I'm in jail. They're like, Mel, you're not like really in jail.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, when the inmates come through, they knew our staff. They were sitting down with them. How's it
Yeah.
going? And it just shows the relationship that Epic
It
has
is.
with the jail and
Yep.
with your staff
Yeah.
because it was amazing, and they were grabbing resources and everything. And
Yeah.
there were so many organizations at
Yeah.
the reentry fair.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So does it help with people like doing the same crime again? Like, did you see that over
Rate
and
of
over again? Yeah.
recidivism is what it's
That's
called,
it.
David.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes. So our recidivism in St. Johns County has dropped by 10%. You can't think of this.
That's
but
awesome. That's huge.
Here's what's so ignorance in leadership is, other sheriffs, call me hug a thug, and is that what you're spending your time and resources on? And by the way, to change that culture,
Hug a thug.
Oh,
That's
my
a
goodness
T-shirt,
gracious.
You
man.
should take that. You
we
should
need
take
to
that
sell
with
that
pride.
as a T-shirt. That's a good
It's-
fundraiser for PAL.
I think about that, because anybody could be in a dark spot in their life.
They're
Yeah.
human
When-
still. They're
you
human beings.
You're human beings. But when you walk in my jail, 95%, let's just say it's 400 for easy math, but 95% of my population today are simply people that made mistakes in life. Whether it's survivability, whether it's a bad day, it's narcotics use, substance abuse, mental health, or just one of those things where you and your other half get up and it's just not a good day and things get physical. And I'm not saying I've ever been there because I haven't. I don't have that mindset because she's my best friend. I mean, she's like everything I have in life. But I can't judge the people that walk in different shoes. So 95% of my population are just simply human beings just like you and me that made a mistake in life,
Yeah.
got caught.
Absolutely.
How many times when I used to drink, did I drive home impaired when I was in the United States military? Alcohol use and abuse and drug use and abuse and
Yeah.
prostitution, that's a military lifestyle. And how many times did you have that person just watching over you? You made it home again and again and again. So I simply tell you that you got to get back and you got to humble yourself in
They
life.
just didn't get caught.
I'm telling you, that's it. And I say it out loud. You just didn't get caught.
Yep.
You didn't get caught. So the other 5% of my population, they're just people that make, heinous and atrocious things, sexual battery, homicide, robbery. Those are things, unfortunately, you got to pay your penance to a higher power. But again, 95%, you walk in my jail, it's quiet, it's respectful. Do we have some people that are in there, that are loud? Yeah. But who knows? They could be detoxing. They could be coming off, methadone. They could be coming off of something in life, a crisis in life.
Yeah.
On the way to my speaking engagement last night at the Link, and it was a late engagement, but Kendall and I were on our way there, and a car just flies by me on US 1 by Palencia,
Dopey.
almost 90 miles an hour in that
Yeah.
zone. I pulled him over, young African-American male there, and I come to the window, and I see a young man. He said, sure. He said, my brother just got shot in Jackson.
Oh,
As you
geez.
saw in the news, there was quite a few shootings over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, kid, just calm down for me. I said, first of all, you're a super speeder. Technically, I should be taking you to jail. He's like, I'm on the phone with my mom. He goes, Mom, I'm right here. Well, I go back to my car. I said, you hang tight here as long as your license is valid and you're straight. I said, I'm going to go back to my car. I'm going to cut you one hell of a break. But you getting to a hospital for your family and getting in a car crash, you just poured salt on the wound of your
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, saving
So-
what, 5 minutes? Like, yeah,
by far.
Right.
So then I see two African American males walking, females walking from that race. I think it's a racetrack right at the corner of Palencia, IGP, and US 1. And they walked over to me and they're like, officer, I was like, just hang tight 1 second. Walk up to the car, get out of the wind, get in the car. He's going to be fine. I said, so I get in the car. It's his mother. I said, listen, you guys are going to Jackson. I want to pray for you. I said, but you got to slow down because you getting in a car crash with your mother and your other family member in the car does
Not
not
gonna be
solve the
helpful.
issue you're going to deal with. So little things in life, man, you got to put yourself and you got to humble yourself and think, hey, I've been in those situations before. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, doing things different.
Speaking of situations, I think e-bikes are a major
Oh, these
situation.
freaking
E-bikes.
e-bikes.
How are you
Sheriff.
dealing with this, buddy? I know this is not an easy topic because there's a lot of people passionate about them, right?
You know, I talked to Rep Kendall, just the other day because she took the lead on this with me just last year when we decided that we were going to go ahead and draft a bill. And then some other representatives got, of course, involved in it. And now it's actually drafted out of Brendan Benedoc out of Naples, Florida, which I'm fine with. But, and again, I'm just going to call out my brothers and sisters, of course, that do this job across this country, especially in Florida. Go, can you look at a 30,000-foot view and quit thinking about yourself? So the e-bike stuff, we took one heck of a campaign last year, because we had blood on our hands going into the summertime, if you remember, after the school with numerous kids that were hurt. But we could validate and verify it wasn't the other people's fault. It was these kids' fault for basically just being reckless on these, these e-bikes that go upwards of 20, 30, upwards of, even these e-motos upwards of 60, 70 miles
Scary,
an hour.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
scary. So, last year we really went into the summertime with the campaign. The school district was phenomenal, as they were, flip-flopping to a new superintendent, to, Dr. Asplin. We mandated basically they have a message board. I'm drawing a blank on what it is, but basically it's a message board that goes out to all the parents for the 51,000
Is it
students.
Schoology?
You're close. but
Something
that's
like
not
that.
it. It's
Yeah.
like a flower name or something.
It is. It'll
Peach
come to
Jar.
me. Yeah, that's it.
It's the little
Hey,
newsletter.
Beach jar.
You
It
got it.
is. That's the
So-
only way to get information out to everybody
They
in
did,
Mass.
and
yeah.
they did such a good job because they allowed us to put a lot of information on the summertime, and then we took one heck of a proactive campaign to not necessarily enforce, but to educate first. So over the summertime, we had our traffic unit up there, we had our task force units up there, we had our patrol deputies up there with these little, basically laminated cards trying to educate the kids, but then also too, if we have a kid that's being reckless or disrespectful, call the parent and say, hey, you come get your kid, and we're going to educate you just a tad bit. And then we went into the school year. Of course, this school year we're sitting in now in August, and the superintendent and his staff, Paul Abatinozzi, allowed us to do a 45-minute mandatory all middle school students, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, an e-bike safety course.
Great.
And it was taught by the youth resource deputy in those schools. So now we got some rapport going. We got that face-to-face. Every student was mandated to do it in the first quarter of school. We got that done. And then, of course, we were drafting bills and trying to see what we were going to do as far as moving forward. I'll be honest with you. If everybody just would have, meaning the sheriffs and police chiefs, said, hey, let the St. John's County Sheriff's Office, let one agency take the lead. I'm looking at 30,000-foot view. How did they do it in Naples? We did this. You remember this. We did it with the golf cart bill.
I remember
We
this.
changed the golf cart statute.
Yep.
Yes.
The rest of the sheriffs and chiefs said, hey, Sheriff, if you'll just consider what's going on in our community, great. And we got it passed and changed Florida State statute on the golf carts.
Do you see e-bikes rolling into the golf cart, kind of like what you got passed?
So-
Can that be included in there?
I'm not real happy with the current bill, the way it's written right now. And again, the state rep has been phenomenal. The senators have been phenomenal. I've met with them and talked to them, but I'm just not real happy with the way it's actually written because too many of us leaders got their paws in this thing, and now
Yeah.
it's all convoluted
Muddied,
about
yeah.
this is how you want to do it in my jurisdiction. Well,
Yeah.
look
It
at
might not work for our jurisdiction.
Yeah, you got to look at it. We're changing
Very
state
different.
law. So what I really want to do is I want to take that e-bike statute, take it out of the bicycle statute. It's not a bicycle.
It's not.
And take it out on its own. It's got, class 1, 2, and 3 in there. E-moto is a different beast. E-moto is basically that motocross bike you all have seen, and the kids wear motocross helmet.
Yeah.
Looks like a motocross bike. It's got upwards of 240 watts on the thing. I'm sorry, 700 watts on the thing. Almost like a 250 cc motocross bike.
Yeah.
We took a
Jeez.
different approach on that, and they haven't gone away, but they've really, really calmed down. I mean, matter of fact, I sent a dozen of my deputies to motocross school. We bought e-motocross bikes that go 70 miles an hour. You're not going to run from us. We're going to need to educate you, ride on these back trails where the kids are riding
Can you
at.
put maneuver with that?
We did a little maneuver. I don't know what it's called, but it was a little bump and rub on a kid that was running from us.
I like a bump and row.
So again, we're trying to do. Again, I'm not a big fan of a 12-year-old child being pulled over by a cop. Going,
True, they gotta learn.
They gotta learn. But again, it's an educational piece for us, and an enforcement thing. I got a lot of heat last year going, hey, this starts in the home. Well, I'm going to remind you again, and you can say what you want to, saying, Sheriff, our job is not babysitting. It's not babysitting.
That's
I'll say
true.
it again and again.
Yeah.
But we were there for you and your families. But your job as a parent or guardian
To
or
be a parent. Say no.
Yeah, what's that word again?
No.
Oh, God bless. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how to spell it.
But
I'd fail in Scrabble if I had to spell that.
I also want to talk about Fight Night coming up.
Yes, Chrissy Pageant, man.
Big time,
Yeah.
big moment, and it's
Yes.
a big fundraiser too.
It's a huge fundraiser. You know, last year, we started this thing about 2 years ago. You know, of course, I'm a big boxer. I've always liked to fight and roll, you know. And just as I get older now, as I get over the 50s, I'm like, don't touch me. Don't touch me
You're
anymore.
like, it hurts now.
Yeah, I had to pay some bills up in Fort Bragg, and they used to have some tough. I don't even know about it. It was my drinking days.
It'll be in the book.
I was a monster. But anyways,
The memoir of the sheriff of the land.
everybody says, Kendall.
Sheriff Rob Hardwick, lifetime experience right here. It's a lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
that'd be
God, I'm
great.
so blessed
If there
in
was
life.
an actor, who would play you?
Oh, God. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Think about that. Next time you
Okay.
come on, you have to have the answer.
I got you.
But anyway, go back to Fight Night.
Back to Fight Night. You know, last year, the first year we did in Catalina's gym, you remember this, Davey, you know, we tried to partner up, of course, with Pete Melfi and his show out there, but they drank all day long. Like, okay, maybe stay out of our gym. This is a kid-friendly
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
So we tried it that night. You know, Chrissy Pageant, I recruited her when she was actually a kickboxer by trade when she was a police officer for me. And then she became a boxer, and she basically, you know, she was phenomenal up at Guns and Hoses in Jacksonville. And then, of course, she married her beautiful wife and got, you know, settled down a little bit. And then she decided to go ahead and be a program manager. So I said, let's go ahead and do this thing ourselves. So, again, Catalina's year one. Last year at the AMP, it was phenomenal. Of course, it was us. And I say us, it's not just police officers or law enforcement. It's
The fire people.
well, no, in my staff, I got HR people in there.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
risk people.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, I got
Oh, I bet
detectives in there.
HR people will take someone out.
Our females are
Pent-up
no
anger.
joke. So last year, as you know, Kendall's Diamond and Dreams project that she's done for special needs communities, she was raising money. It all went to her last year, around $30,000. I
That's
think.
amazing.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
she'll tell you. And then this year, Chrissy Pageant, once again, I just moved her to the office of the sheriff, so she's now working directly for me. But she's running Fight Night once again. This year, we're going to split the money between Kendall's Diamond and Dreams, and then also to Law Enforcement Florida Special Olympics.
Oh, cool.
Torch Run.
Love that.
Very,
So
very cool.
We'll split the money. It's good. They go hand in hand. So
Absolutely.
yes, I believe it's February 25th. I think
Yep,
it's that
yep.
Thursday.
We're
we have our-
going.
we have our weigh-in the night before.
Nice.
What about y'all broadcasting live?
Oh, we would
Oh,
love
we would
it.
love to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why don't you do it?
That would be so fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, can we do the weigh-in too?
You can do whatever you want. That's
Yeah.
the night before. The location is very secret. Ring Power is sponsoring it at Ring Power.
Shut up.
So yeah,
That
so-
is such a really cool space
Oh,
that nobody
my
knows
God.
about.
Yes.
Oh, I got a private
So-
tour. It is such a cool
yes.
spot.
Wait, so we're gonna do it live. Do we get to wear boxing gear?
So weigh-in night is the night before at Ring Power. Caterpillar and Ring Power. David Albin and Randy Ringhaver are sponsoring us.
This is so cool.
Yes, yes.
I love this
And then
change.
the AMP once again the night after, and Chrissy's pushing for. Looks like our females are undefeated, by the way. So we'll be kind of quiet
Yes.
about that. We did try to warn the other gyms that our females are going to punch you in the face on time one. Not everybody understood
Like
that
TKO.
philosophy. I'm telling you. And if you watch every one of our fights, our females come out and nail you one time to wake you up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yes, our women are amazing.
I want to learn. Okay,
our guys
so
are too, but our women are
I
amazing.
feel like I need to learn. Like I think I know how to punch, but I feel like I need someone to teach me. So maybe we can do
Chrissy
a segment
Pageant.
where she comes on the show
Yes.
and teaches me like.
Yeah, we can do that. We
Listen,
definitely
Chrissy-
we're
Because I'm an
slated,
angry
yeah.
Italian. I mean, I think if I learned how to actually fight, I could totally TKO someone.
You can be angry all you want to, but Chrissy Pageant's a redneck. And
I
she
love
will
it.
knock
That's
you
what I
out.
need.
You go for it.
She is. I love it.
Teach
our,
me.
Our female fighters, I mean, our males are just studs, but I mean, our female fighters, the best women. I mean, they're undefeated last year. They're just great kids and young people. So super excited. So yeah,
Oh my
February
God.
25th.
gonna
Come
be
on
great.
out. Come on. The tickets are on sale right now. Of course, most of that money goes right back to our community because the AMP has been so gracious. You know, Gabe Pellissier has been so gracious in donating a lot of things that they can based on their board, and all that money goes right back to our.
I love that.
Oh, we're
our
going.
I love that.
All right, so Sheriff, here we
Awesome.
go.
Yes.
I like to play games. Do you like to play games?
Of course.
This is a rapid fire, so you can't think. You just got to answer, and they're very serious questions. You
Got it.
ready? Pizza or tacos?
Pizza,
Coffee or sweet tea?
coffee,
Beach day or fishing day?
fishing,
Burgers or barbecue?
barbecue,
Oh, early bird, night owl.
Early bird.
Movies or live sports?
Live sports.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Texting or calling?
Neither.
Oh, so you're FaceTime. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. No, FaceTime is face to face. Yes.
Salty snacks or sweet snacks?
Sweet.
Classic rock or country?
Country.
Oh, of course I knew it. Bagels or donuts?
Bagels.
Ah.
Good
I'm a
Board
cop.
games or video games?
Bored.
Rainy day or sunny day?
Both.
Okay, I love a rainy day.
Okay,
yeah.
you heard it here first. That is breaking news. Breaking news.
Make sure you ask Kendall when she comes in.
Oh, I
Definitely,
will.
we do a rapid fire with
Oh,
everybody.
I
yeah.
love it.
It's so fun.
Because she's a thinker, man. She's like, oh, Rob's going to trap me. I'm like, no, I'm not. Do
No,
your
well, here's
own.
the thing. I like to do real breaking hard news.
Yeah.
So
I
love it.
rapid
That was
fire
really good.
it is.
Very good.
Well, Sheriff Hardwick, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, I
This is
appreciate you, my
amazing.
friend. Yeah.
I know you're going to the Ron Parker Memorial Celebration, or not celebration, but it's like what is it
It
today?
really is. It's a celebration of life. You know, Ron Parker, of course, died back in the 1970s on this day, actually, on January 12th, right there where Embassy Suites is at right now.
Yeah.
Horrific situation where DeShirley actually shot and killed him. Ron was going to actually help him, you know, because he was stuck or changing a tire or
It's
something
really
like
a
that.
sad story. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a great day. Brenda Parker has been just an advocate for, you know, citizens, of course, our concerns of police survivors since that day. So today's a special day, but it's really a celebration because we all get to see each other because of Ron Parker. You know, this county, this community went to vests, you know, body armor because of Ron's sacrifice, and things changed because of him. You know, radio procedures and you know how we did things. So God bless him and his family, and I've been very, very close to them. Of course, you know, I was a baby back then, but. It's honestly changed my life with my relationship with Brenda Parker. So special day.
Yeah.
We keep bumping it backwards. I'm not sure. I was a chief over there. We had it when it was warm.
Right.
Dan's got it back at 10 o'clock this morning. I'm like, Danny, buddy, it's a little chilly outside. Yeah, we're Floridians,
It's
buddy.
cold.
I
It's
know.
chilly.
Oh,
I
my
know.
God.
So good. Well, thank you again for your
Thank
time.
Thank you so much.
And
yeah.
we will see you next month, which is so amazing. And folks, we're going to take a quick break with Maritime Creative and Flashes and Brilliance.